You're listening to Sox in the Basement, a production of the Broadcast Basement Limited, where every show is 30 minutes of good and comes from a basement bar on the south side of Chicago. Pull up a stool, pour a cold one, and join us right now for Sox in the Basement. Heard everywhere podcasts can be found, and always at soxinthebasement.com.
And welcome into Sox in the Basement. My name is Chris Lanuti, and you're listening to yet another simulated broadcast as part of our full simulated season, taking care of the 2020 schedule as it would have been. And until baseball was announced that it was coming back, Sox in the Basement brought you simulated games and a full simulated season in a partnership with Sox on 35th every day since opening day. And then baseball announced a return, so we started fast forwarding. The most recent fast forward brought us up to the first weekend of September. It's still on demand everywhere podcasts can be found and always at soxinthebasement.com. Came out on Friday. The White Sox actually got themselves to a half game behind the Twins at that point, and then won Game 1 against Minnesota in Minnesota in the final series between the teams. Yesterday's broadcast was Game 2, and the Sox took that one, and now sit at the highest point they have been at all simulated season long. 89-53, a game and a half up on the Twins at 88-55, with the Cleveland Indians now 5 games back. Between these three teams and the Angels and Astros in the AL West, 4 of those 5 teams are going to make the postseason. And the White Sox are in a great position as of today. How did they get here? They have the best in-division record of all the teams in the American League Central. So far, 42-20 against their own division. They won the season series against the Twins long ago. And looking ahead, after this game in Minnesota, it's a day off, and then back home for 3 against the Dodgers. Then it's out to Kansas City, a divisional opponent, for 3 games. Out to Oakland for 3, and then back home for all divisional games. 4 against KC, 3 against the Indians, and 3 against the Tigers. In fact, our schedule after the Dodgers coming up midway through this week becomes very, very easy with the exception of the Indians looking at the teams that we are playing. It all seems to set up perfectly for the White Sox to possibly win the AL Central and to definitely get into the postseason. And don't forget, this Wednesday, Scott Merkin, White Sox beat reporter from MLB.com, on the regular Sox in the Basement 30 Minutes of Sox podcast that comes out on demand each and every Wednesday. It is all brought to you by our proud sponsors, Family Waterproofing Solutions. You heard about them at the beginning of the show. Great Sox in the Basement deals, veteran-owned, female-owned, and family-owned, and located right on the south side. Visit them today, FAMWS.com, and see what they can do for you. Without further ado, we head out and try to sweep the Twins. It's Sox in the Basement using MLB The Show 20. And right now you're listening anywhere podcasts can be found and always at soxinthebasement.com. Let's go. Target Field, Minneapolis, Minnesota. The 89-53 White Sox trying to sweep the 88-55 Minnesota Twins here at Target Field using MLB The Show 20 with Sox in the Basement recap coming to you right after the game at SoxOn35th.com. Hello, everybody. My name is Chris Lanuti, and welcome. Randy Dobnak, 9 starts, 8-3 record, 4.17 ERA, 127 in the third innings. He's got a whip of 1.32, 133 hits, 35 walks, 99 strikeouts, and he will start today for the Minnesota Twins. Coming to the plate, Tim Anderson hitting .323, 10 homers, 66 RBIs, on-base percentage of .366, and currently on an 8-game hitting streak. The White Sox took the first 2 of this series. They've won yet another season series and another series against the Twins already. Now they go for the sweep. They came in a half game back. They're currently a game and a half up as that pitch misses outside. 1-0 the count. And I'm sure the Twins had in their minds, we got the Sox coming here, let's take care of business, put them in the rearview mirror, and then go on and win this division. Now this is a battle. Inside fastball misses 2-0 the count. White Sox going with their straight up regular starters for Game 3. They got a day off tomorrow, and then the Dodgers at home in Chicago. Four-seam fastball catches the corner, 2-1. 78 degrees today, clear skies, 4-mile-an-hour winds blowing out to right field. We've talked about it before. The Twins are set up to hit into that jet stream down the right field line, where field level is also street level, or at least where the stands are. That's a base hit in the right field. Anderson puts it into the jet stream there, and he's got a leadoff single. In right field here in Target Field, their concourse, imagine the concourse at the Cell. Now imagine if that concourse is exactly sidewalk level, with buildings running away from it, creating a wind tunnel from home plate straight out to right field through the Goose Island section and beyond. That's what it's like here in Target Field. Left-handers love it. Remember, it was built with Morneau and Mauer in mind. And the idea the team would always try to find that left-handed power. As Yasmani Grandal comes to the plate hitting .288, leading the team with 32 home runs, batting lefty today against the right-hander Dobnak. Anderson leads off of first, and a high two-seam fastball makes it 1-1. And what's amazing is you don't see a team full of left-handed starters here. Because if you're going to build a ballpark that way, then you should want all the switch hitters moving over to the right side so they can't take advantage of that. Twins took advantage of it earlier on in the season. They had a game where they put out like 4 home runs against us, maybe 5 it was, and beat the tar out of us earlier in the season when the wind was blowing out the way it is today. 2-1 the count. Anderson continues to lead off of first, an outside slider misses 3-1. Yoan Moncada stands on deck hitting .306. The pitch. High pitch, fouled back, 3-2, the count is full. Payoff pitch here, no outs, top of the first with Anderson on first. Anderson takes off for second. That pitch is high and away. He will coast in the second base as Grandal walked. So they put him in motion on the 3-2 count to avoid a double play. It doesn't matter as Dobnak misses the zone, and right away the White Sox have 2 on here at the beginning of this game, and Yoan Moncada comes to the plate. .306, 27 home runs and a career-high 84 RBI. He's been batting in the 3 spot, I would say, since the beginning of June, and has really taken to it, much like he took to the 4 spot in late April and May. Remember, this guy started off 0-15 on the season and dropped to the bottom of the order until he could get it right again. And then Yo-Yo went nuts. 2 pitches outside miss, and Dobnak does not have his stuff early on, and the White Sox need the pounce. Remember, they scored 3 runs yesterday in the first inning and held on to that lead for the rest of the game. Dallas Keuchel going for the White Sox today. Would like to have a few runs already up there before he takes the mound. That pitch, an outside one, lifted deep into right field. It's going to be near the track. The catch is made. Right fielder stumbles trying to make the play, and Anderson looks at that stumble and says, I'm going second to third on the fly out. So there's 1 gone, but now a runner on third base in Tim Anderson. You get another one like that from Eloy Jimenez. Runner's going to score on the sacrifice fly. Eloy's hitting .279 and stands in right now, looking to put a charge into the ball. Had a home run yesterday, 2-run job, and also a RBI double. He's grounded into only 10 double plays this season. He's got a very slow runner at first base and an 0-1 count. The next pitch on the way, inside pitch fouled off, quickly 0-2. He's already got his career high in home runs. A lot of people thought 40. I would say he'll probably end up with more like 30. Fly ball in the center field might be deep enough. The play is going to be made, and here comes Anderson coming home. Throw's going to come into the plate, and he is safe. Nice throw came in there. I don't know if every runner scores on that one, but TA comes in head first, slides in, sacrifice fly for Jimenez, and the White Sox lead 1-0. Grandal remains over at first, and there's 2 gone here in the top of the first, as Jose Abreu comes to the plate, hitting .278 with 23 homers and 73 RBI. Abreu started off in his regular spot in a 3-hole and then went into a slump. White Sox seemed to be waiting until some of this younger talent, Moncada, Jimenez, established they could handle the middle of the order. And once they could, Jose was dropped down to the 5 spot, although he will bat third every once in a while with a left-handed hitter, because he does much better against lefties. The split is becoming more and more obvious here in 2020. 2 pitches right away on the inside corner miss, and he's 2-0. With 2 outs here in the top of the first, the White Sox lead 1-0. Remember, this game brought to you by Family Waterproofing Solutions. Family Waterproofing Solutions takes care of everything that has to do with your foundation. Basement leaking, seepage, some pump issues. Sidewalks are all out of whack around the house. That's a foundation problem. High pop, back behind second base. Arias waves everybody off and will make the play. The Sox get 2 on and no out. They get a run across. They have 1 run on 1 hit and the lead midway through the first, with Byron Buxton coming up to lead it off for the Twins. Dallas Keuchel, the lefty, stands on the mound with 28 starts and a 13-7 record, 4.03 ERA over 165 and a third innings. He's accumulated a whip of 1.34 with 145 strikeouts and 60 free passes. The walks were a problem early on, but he started to do much better in the second half of the season with those. We'll see if that trend continues. Byron Buxton comes to the plate, hitting .264. And the Twins earlier in the season really adjusted the top of their lineup depending on if it was a lefty or a righty. But today, they're starting with the exact same lineup against Keuchel that they had yesterday against Giolito. First pitch swung on and missed on the outside corner, 0-1 to Buxton. Going around the horn, Grandal behind the plate, Abreu at first, Danny Mendick at second. Shortstop is Anderson, third is Moncada. As a slider hits the outside corner, 0-2. Jimenez in left, center is Luis Robert. AL Rookie of the Month in July and August. And in right field, Nomar Mazara. Swing and a miss, he got him on 3 pitches on a cut fastball inside, and Buxton goes down. First strikeout for Keuchel. That's a good sign. We've seen 2 Dallas Keuchels this season. We've seen the Dallas Keuchel that takes 40 pitches through 2 innings, walks 3, puts a runner on, and just struggles to keep the run total down. And then we've seen the guy that goes 9 in a shutout. Polanco's hitting .325 with 24 home runs, 73 RBIs, an OPS of .948. He takes a strike on the inside corner. He's currently 5th in the American League in batting average. The guy coming up after him is 2nd in Arias. 0-1 count the pitch. This one's in the dirt. First ball called against Keuchel. 1-1 the count. He's got 31 doubles so far this season. The kick and the pitch. That one's low, a 2-seamer. 2-1 the count. There'll be another fast forward of the season coming up this week. We'll tell you all about it. And don't forget, on Wednesday, Scott Merkin joins us from MLB.com as that one's fouled off, 2-2 the count. Now a high pitch just misses the zone. 3-2 the count is full. So Merkin joins us on the regular podcast this Wednesday. Outside pitch swung on, sent down the first base line. Abreu makes a nice play towards second. Flips it over to Keuchel covering the bag. He wins the foot race. There's 2 gone on the 3-1 putout. So we got Merck coming up on Wednesday. We're going to have a fast forward this week. And next weekend, playoff baseball is what I'm assuming. Unless everything goes terribly wrong. We're going to find out this week how the simulated season finishes out. And then we'll have playoff baseball this weekend. If the Sox do well, there'll be one more weekend of playoff baseball. But first, we have to win some more games. We got to hold off this team. 0-2 to Arias quickly. Swung on and missed. He got him on 3 pitches. What a quick inning by Keuchel. Strikes out 2, gets the ground out over to first base. He looks sharp today. This is a team on a mission. They've been chasing the Twins all year, and they're not letting go of the lead in first, it doesn't look like. 1-0, top of the second. Edwin Encarnacion comes up to the plate, hitting .261. 32 homers, tied with Grandal atop the team, 77 RBI. There are multiple players on the Twins with more home runs than that. This Twins team can hit. It has been the pitching that has caused them issues with us because we have an offense that seems to be able to keep up with them. So when it comes down to it, there's a lot of times we'll chase their fourth and fifth starters where our guys will hang in. Swing and a miss here on a four-seamer high 0-2 to Encarnacion. Much better hitter against lefties than righties, but he plays pretty much every day. The 0-2 pitch on the way. This one sent down the first base line. Fair ball over the bag. Edwin's got one down on the corner by the 328 marker. He's on his way into second base because a shift was on. They expected him to pull. He's standing on second as the ball comes bouncing in a leadoff double. Only his 24th of the season for Edwin. He's not fleet of foot, but they had a shift on. Arias was on the other side of second base near short. Only one guy covering the first base line. The outfielders were shifted as well. He puts that one right over the bag. And here's Mazara, 14 homers, 46 RBIs. Hitting .239. All 14 home runs have come against right-handed pitching. Against lefties, he has not recorded an RBI or a home run all season long, hitting .239 currently. This one ripped out deep. That ball is way out of here. Up into the stratosphere. He just hit it into the highest deck in right field, 449 feet out of here at 110 miles an hour. Nomar Mazara hits his 15th home run to the highest point in right center field. It's like a third deck up there. He hit the last row. I'm going to see the replay. On the initial look, it looks like he hits the last row. He might have cleared the ballpark. That ball is blasted, and Mazara, rightfully so, stands there with the bat in his hand and watches that one clear out. It actually leaves the ballpark. It goes over the top of that wall and out of the ballpark. It's not the highest point, but it's where the third deck begins. So he puts it over the third deck and out of the ballpark. Nomar Mazara with the second hardest hit ball I've seen all year. The first one was opening weekend when Luis Robert hit the kid zone for his first ever home run in a White Sox or Major League uniform. And now Danny Mendick comes to the plate with the White Sox leading 3-0. And that just shut everybody up here in this crowd. And once again, the White Sox have an early 3-0 lead here in Minnesota. Dobnak up the 26 pitches as Mendick fouls that one off, 1-2. No outs here in the top of the second. Ground ball over to second base. Arias picks it up, flips it to first. And there's one gone. Here comes Robert to the plate. 45 stolen bases, but he's also now hitting .251 with 20 bombs and 58 RBI. He had 3 home runs through midway point of June. 17 home runs since then. Player of the month, not player of the month, rookie of the month in July and August, and currently a lot of people believe could be rookie of the year as long as he finishes out strong. That pitch misses, 1-0 the count. Next offering on the way is high and misses, 2-0. I keep saying Danny Mendick should also be somewhere on that list. Should be in the top 10 of voting. Guy only came up in September last year, barely played, still has rookie status. That one's fouled down the third base line. He's been hitting in the 280s and contributing mightily to this White Sox team. The 2-1 pitch on the way outside, split finger, 3-1. And he may have something going against him because he wasn't the starter at the beginning of the year, took the job at second base from Leury Garcia. Nick Madrigal came up, they split time, and eventually the team said Madrigal's the future and put him at second. Then Madrigal couldn't hold on to the job. Mendick back out there. As a fly ball out to center field will be caught, 2 gone now here in the top of the second. The top of the order coming up in Anderson with nobody on, but 2 runs already in this inning. And we posed a question after Mendick, of course, came back and takes that job from Madrigal. We posed a question on Wednesday. Will Ricky Renteria in a shortened season pull the trigger on changing out guys in his lineup and his everyday starters if a guy gets off to a slow start because you only have 60 games? You can't be patient forever. Now, immediately, we got questioned on Twitter like, well, what about Luis Robert? I mean, you're not going to pull him out. Okay, I get it. You might stick with him a little bit longer. But yeah, if he's out there and he hasn't gotten a hit in 2 weeks, I would think Ricky Renteria's got to pull him out in a short season. I don't think that's going to happen, but I think he does. But the real question is, who's playing second? And there's 3 guys that can stand there, and Garcia, Mendick, and possibly Madrigal if they put him on the 40-man and bring him with on the 30-man roster. 2-2 to Anderson on a pitch that catches the outside corner. He's 1 for 1 on the day. Same thing in right field. You got Mazara, Engel, and again, Garcia could be out there. We've used all 3. Fly ball out in the shallow right field. Arias is going to call off his right fielder, make that catch on the run. The inning is over. But Nomar Mazara hit a bomb way out over that third deck in right center field. Sox lead 3-0. Dallas Keuchel threw 12 pitches and struck out 2. In the first inning, he gets Miguel Sano, possible MVP. 40 homers and 126 RBIs, hitting 297. The righty stands at the plate and waits for the first pitch to lead off the bottom of the second inning. And immediately lifts this one way back. Out in the right field, anything you can do, I can do better. Nomar Mazara, not as deep, but onto the concourse in right field. He puts this one out. 384 feet. High fly ball out at 98.8 miles per hour. Big towering shot. Sano stamps on home plate. Pats his teammate on the butt. His 41st home run of the season. First pitch, he hits an outside off-speed pitch. Keuchel, so effective in the first, Miguel saw something. He puts it Oppo into that jet stream we were talking about, the wind blowing out. Lands in the second section over from the foul pole, so it's in that little jet stream. Twins take advantage of it all the time, 3-1. Sox still lead. Mitch Garver's got 22 home runs and 74 RBIs to go with his .257 average. Takes a ball outside, 1-0. So the fans alive here now in Minnesota now, base hit into right field, on the ground through the infield. Back-to-back hits for the Twins here. From the 4 and the 5 hitter, a run in and a man on. So, home runs going out to right field. We said it would happen. Here comes a left-handed hitter in Eddie Rosario. He's hitting .239, but he's got 20 homers. He's got a runner on first base. It doesn't have a lot of speed. Still no outs here in the bottom of the second. Sox leading by 2. Lefty on lefty here. Keuchel takes a breath and delivers. First pitch hits the outside corner, a 2-seamer. That's a strike, 0-1. Garver, not really a threat to go anywhere at first. He's waiting for somebody to put the ball on the plate. Inside pitch just misses, another 2-seamer, 1-1. So Keuchel going to the 2-seamer twice in a row after the off-speed pitch gives up the home run and the base hit. Now he goes off speed on a changeup, pulls the string. Rosario way out in front, swings and misses, 1-2. So he hasn't given up on it, that's for sure. Just has to find a different time to use it. And now a strike in the outside corner. Goes 4-seamer, up and in, hits the zone. Rosario stands at the plate talking about it with the umpire, now walks away. He didn't like the call, but on the replay, that's clearly over the plate. Remember, you got one of the best framers in the business in Grandal behind the plate. And there's one gone here in the bottom of the second. Here comes Nelson Cruz, 320, 28 home runs, 81 RBI. This team is just an offensive machine. Everybody that comes up has incredible stats, and it's only the 6th of September. 0-1 the count as he fouls off that one. Cruz, the righty, actually tends to have problems with lefties. Generally the other way around. When you look at his splits, though, it's a little different for him. He has scored over 1,000 runs in his very long career. And he's 1-1 as that pitch evens up the count. Now a high 2-seamer misses, 2-1. Keuchel still trying to work quickly. He takes a quick look at Garver, looks back in and delivers. Low, changeup, 3-1. Cruz being very patient with Josh Donaldson on deck. He's only got 37 home runs. And he's the 8 hitter in their lineup. Into the wind and the pitch, swung on and missed, an inside two-seamer. Count goes full. Beat him inside over the hands. One gone here in the bottom of the second, 3-1 Chicago. Trying to get the sweep. That would be very difficult, I believe, here in Target Field, but they're giving it a go. Now a cut fastball high in the zone is fouled back. 25 pitches for Keuchel with one out and a full count to Cruz. The payoff pitch on the way. This one lifted out in the right field, right at Mazara. Hard line drive, but he hit it right where the right fielder was standing. Lucky for the White Sox, Mazara just plants his feet, puts his glove up, and catches a scorcher. And there's two gone for Donaldson. He had a home run yesterday. He's slugging .586. Got a .305 average and 37 home runs with 112 RBI. He had a two-run job yesterday. If he gets one of those here, this is a tie ball game. Two gone, runner on first and Garver here in the bottom of the second inning. Keuchel delivers. A low outside two-seamer, just misses. 1-0 the count. Dallas was going right in the zone every time until the Sano home run. Now he's nibbling. An outside pitch misses, 2-0. So a little shell shock. He's a veteran pitcher, but you can see a difference in how he's throwing the ball right now from the first inning, because he threw one in the zone to Sano and it got lifted out. Pop fly behind the plate. Grandal tries to run back to get it. It is out of play. Count is now 2-1. Next offering, inside two-seamer. It missed, according to the umpire. 3-1 the count. Marwin Gonzalez stands on deck. He gave the White Sox fits in several games earlier this season. And a high pitch misses inside. Keuchel walks him. So a leadoff home run, followed by a base hit. Gets two outs. And now walks Josh Donaldson. He's on to the 9-hitter, and Gonzalez hitting .254 with 13 homers and 51 RBI. He hits from the right side of the plate here. He's a switch hitter, but they generally use him against lefties. Swing and a miss on a changeup, low and in. 0-1 the count. Dallas takes his time, strokes that glorious beard, and now gets set on the mound again. Here comes his next offering. Inside almost hits Gonzalez. That would have been a disaster. He would have loaded up the bases. Instead now, we got a 1-1 count. And now a strike down the middle taken. Changeup. Gonzalez obviously looking for something else. I don't know why he takes that, but now it's 1-2. The next pitch. Ground ball down the first base side. Actually, Keuchel cuts it off as it was bouncing slowly. He gets it on the hop right after Gonzalez runs by it, flips it to Abreu, and they beat him to the bag. After two, Sox lead by 2. You're in the Family Waterproofing Solutions third inning. Our proud sponsors, Family Waterproofing Solutions, wants you to visit them at famws.com and see all they can do for you. Foundation issues, sump pumps, window wells, seepage, water in your basement. Look, we're Sox in the basement. We're not water in the basement. You don't want water in the basement. You can't enjoy your basement with water. Give them a call. Financing, great offers, Sox in the Basement deals, mention us. As Yasmani Grandal comes to the plate and lifts this one deep down the right field line. It's up in the jet stream. It might get up. It is gone. Grandal puts it out. 354 feet. A big high fly. The wind took that out. It was only moving at 91.5 miles per hour on the exit velocity. So after Sano hits the solo shot to lead off the bottom of the second, Yasmani leads off the top of the third with his own, and he gets to the plate, and he stomps on it just like Sano. He came in at the end and slowed down. I'm not joking here. Slowed down and mimicked what Sano did when he got to the plate. Remember, he's the catcher. He stood there and watched Miguel. You could see Miguel talking when he hit the plate. And Yasmani's like, I just did the same thing to the same part of the field. And now I'm going to stomp on the plate too. So this is a rivalry. The fan bases, not big fans of each other. The teams, now that they're both good, clearly not big fans of each other. Yoan Moncada steps in 0 for 1 and takes a pitch on the inside corner, 0-1 the count. Now an outside pitch check swing. They're going to say he went around. Moncada doesn't believe he did. He steps out of the batter's box, has a few words with the umpire, asking why he didn't appeal. Now he steps back in 0-2. Next offering on the way. Flied out down the third base line. It goes foul. Count remains 0-2. 42 pitches so far for Dobnik. And now a low inside pitch misses. 1-2. I've always said Yoan Moncada's got a great eye. It hurt him in his first season because umpires weren't trusting that eye. There was a stat out that showed he was punched out on more balls that were outside of the zone than any other player in Major League Baseball in 2018. In 2019, he started to hit. He started to get that respect. Ground ball, second base, Arias flips it to first. And there's one gone. Here comes Eloy Jimenez hitting 279. And a two-seam fastball foul back, 0-1 the count. It's hitting 462 this week. Eloy's been killing it. Inside, four-seamer misses, 1-1. Had a big home run yesterday. Got the White Sox off on the right foot. Now an outside pitch misses. 2-1. Swing and a miss on an inside four-seamer. Count evens at 2. Pretty day out today. It was only 50 degrees yesterday, now 79. It's that September weather. You don't know what you're going to get, but luckily no rain. There's a four-seamer foul back. We talked before the game started. Sox have done very well against their division. Better than anybody else in the division has done against the rest of the teams. One, that bodes well for the White Sox when we're talking about this 60-game schedule. If that becomes true, they're going to the postseason this year. There's now a swing and a high pop, straight up, Garver underneath it. He'll make the play. A little bit of swirling wind. You saw that move around a little bit. So did he, shuffling his feet. But Jimenez is out on the pop out. 2 gone here in the top of the third. And here's Abreu 0 for 1. He popped out in the first inning. He's only 1 for 9 in this series, but he has an RBI. So that would bode well. If the simulation holds up, the Sox matched up great against their own division. They beat up on KC. They beat up on Detroit. They really beat up on the Twins. Even if the Twins win this game today, the best they finish with against the White Sox is 6 wins against this White Sox team. We took all the rest. 0-2 the count here to Abreu quickly. Now one in the dirt, rolls to the backstop, 1-2. 2 outs here in the top of the third. Sox also very good at home. Early in the season, they had a losing record on the road. They're now 6 games over on the road, 7 actually after yesterday. The 1-2 pitch to Jose. Low and inside, misses, 2-2 the count. Abreu waves the bat towards Dobnik. This is pitch number 56 for him here in the third. Swing and a miss. He struck him out on a split finger, low and in. Not in the zone. Gives up that home run, and then Randy Dobnik goes to work. But the White Sox regain the 3-run lead on the Yasmani Grandal towering shot down the right field line into the corner. And it's 4-1 good guys. The Minnesota Twins are number 1 in Major League Baseball, not just the American League, in runs per game at 5.77, average 2.83, an on-base percentage of .365. They're slugging second best in the MLB at .490, and the most home runs at 242. This is a real offense. They are very, very good and very dangerous. The only reason the White Sox have been able to get to them this year, and I believe this to be true, is our pitching has been able to hold down this team as a bunt goes foul from Buxton, trying to get on with a bunt base hit to lead off the bottom of the third, 0-1 the count. Now a swing and a miss at a changeup, 0-2. He went down on 3 pitches last time. He's 0-2 here to Keuchel. Pitch number 38 from Dallas. Swung on and missed. 6 pitches have created 2 strikeouts for Byron Buxton, the leadoff hitter, and the 4th strikeout of the game for Dallas Keuchel. Minnesota and the White Sox, we've gotten into some slobber knockers. High-scoring games. We've also had some low-scoring games. The difference has overall been the pitching. And I'm not saying every game White Sox pitching was on fire, but how many times have we seen them have to go to their long relievers in Bailey or Rich Hill in games? Their starters don't normally go deep. Outside, curveball misses, 2-0 the count. 2-0 count to Polanco. He's 0 for 1. Shortstop standing in the right-handed batter's box. He's a switch hitter, so he's hitting righty instead of lefty like yesterday. Ground ball to Moncada, nice scoop, and a strike over to Abreu. Really clean play over at third base. The 5-3 put out. There's 2 gone. Nobody on here in the bottom of the third for Luis Arias. He's 0 for 1 in the game. It's on a 5-game hitting streak. Keuchel pours in a strike down the middle, 0-1. Now a foul ball and a changeup in the same spot, 0-2 quickly to the number 3 hitter for the Twins. Now he jams him over to short. Anderson scoops, takes his time over to first. Nice scoop by Abreu. He picks it off the ground. And we are through 3. Sox get a 1-2-3 inning from Keuchel, his second of the game so far, and we lead 4-1. Edwin Encarnacion comes to the plate. Had a double, scored on a home run. Randy Dobnak enters the top of the 4th inning with already 56 pitches. Edwin, the big DH who sometimes fills in at first, takes a strike on the outside corner of 4-seamer, 0-1 the count. Dobnak. He's got the 90s goatee thing going. And some sweet glasses. And the 0-1 pitch inside, a slider misses. 1-1. And of course, Rich Hill and Homer Bailey are up. They are up every game at this point for the Twins. At least it seems that way against the White Sox. And this goes back to what I was saying last half inning. Sox have gotten to the starting pitchers. As this one is looped over to first base and picked out of the air. An unassisted 3 put out. And here's Mazara, and he gets boos for that towering home run and standing at home plate. He's 1 for 1 with a 2-run blast. And a low outside splitter misses, 1-0 the count. They have a shift on for him. Arias is in shallow right field. Polanco's moved over to the other side of second base. Inside pitch lifted now down the left field line. Curving, and it's down in fair territory into the corner. He goes oppo against the shift. He stands at second base as the ball is thrown in with a double. Nomar Mazara, have a game, why don't you? The White Sox have 302 doubles now. Actually, they have 304. They entered play at 302, leading all of the majors. This team likes to hit doubles. Danny Mendick comes to the plate 0 for 1. 1 out, runner on second. First pitch to Mendick, outside a slider, misses, 1-0 the count. The one thing that I don't like about how the simulation portrays Danny Mendick is that he's always got his shirt buttoned up to the top. And any White Sox fan knows that Danny Mendick opens up a few extra buttons to show some skin for the ladies. We've talked about this a lot on Sox in the Basement. Danny Mendick reminds me of young John Cangelosi. He knows where his assets are. He's a young man. He opens up that shirt. Fly ball into right center field. It's going to hang up there long enough for Buxton to get it. Mazara will hold at second. 2 gone. Runner still at second base. Here in the top of the 4th inning. And here's Robert, the 9-hitter. 0 for 1 with a line out in the second inning. Been in a slight slump. I wouldn't say a massive one over the last week or so. Started when they went to Tropicana Field. That place can play with your emotions. And he generally had a pretty good series against the Twins for the season. There were times when he was slumping and he was hitting under 200 in the first couple months. He contributed in these series. He got up for the Twins. But so far this weekend, he's been held down mostly. 2-0 the count. Runner on second base. The pitch to Robert. Low, outside slider, called a strike at the knees. Count goes to 2-1. 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. Sox lead 4-1. Into the wind and the pitch. Swung on and missed. A 4-seamer away. Count evens at 2. Now Roberts got to choke up a little bit. Get ready. Dobnak checks the runner quickly and delivers. High and away, and this one's fouled off down the first base line. Pitch number 70 coming up for the Twins starter right here. He's trying to end the 4th inning with it. This one is lifted out in the left center field. Get down into the gap. It will. Buxton can't get there. Mazzaro's going to round third and head for home. Robert into second. He is out at second base, but Mazzara had already scored. So Robert gets gunned down by Buxton, who makes a great play in left center. Robert shaking his head. He can't believe how quickly that ball got there, but he does drive in the run. And the Sox lead 5-1 heading to the bottom of the fourth inning. Are you or someone you know looking to learn how to play a musical instrument this year? Then you should be checking out Westgate Music School, 6527 West 127th Street in Palos Heights. Private music lessons for all instruments, including guitar, piano, drums, voice, bass guitar, violin, banjo, ukulele, and more. Are you a vocalist? Are you ready to play a musical instrument and looking to join a group? Westgate Music School offers group classes for rock band, a cappella vocal, and barbershop quartet. Students of all ages and ability levels will have the opportunity to perform 3 times a year in a student concert. Gift certificates for Westgate are also available. More information, call 708-586-7002 or go to westgatemusicschool.com. And here comes Miguel Sano. He's 1 for 1 with a solo home run in the second on the first pitch he saw from Dallas Keuchel. He now has 41 on the season. A lot of people think he could be the AL MVP. Mike Trout also having a huge year. But looking at what the show is telling us, the guy in the lead right now is Sano. He's 1-0 there. Now he lifts this one out into deep left field, trailing back towards the wall. Does he have another one? He does. Miguel Sano hits one out now to left field on the second pitch from Keuchel, 414 feet. This man is feeling it today. He's got 2 solo home runs. He's all the offense the Twins have had. And Dallas Keuchel must hate Miguel Sano at this point. 42 home runs on the season. He could easily finish this season with 50. He is having a huge year. Huge. There's so much time left. This time, he just goes with the pitch, lifts that one out, actually hits the first row of that second deck. It was a line drive and never came down. Robert ran back to the wall thinking that ball was going to drop. It never did. It was straight out of here. Here's Garver. He's 1 for 1 with a single against the shift into right field. They moved over mostly to the other side of the infield for him last time. This time he pops it up into right center. Robert's going to come over and make the play. 2 very, very good center fielders out there that have a lot of range, a lot of speed, and a lot of ability. He gets over there quickly. Eddie Rosario now comes to the plate. The 6 hitter is 0 for 1. Keuchel gets ready for his 50th pitch of the game. Leading 5-2. Lefty on lefty. This one's popped up near the dugout on the third base line. It will get out of play. Grandal cannot get there in time. 0-1. The kick and the pitch from Keuchel, low, a changeup, 1-1 the count. I don't think you pitch to Sano anymore in this game. Unless you have to. If Miguel Sano comes to the plate and there's nobody on, just walk him. He's that good right now. 2-1 pitch on the way. This one's lifted down the first baseline, foul into the stands. 2-2, the count is even with 1 out here in the bottom of the fourth. Nobody on. Rosario swings and misses at a 2-seamer up in the zone. And he's down, and here he is. He's talking again. He talked after the first one because he thought that it wasn't a strike. Okay, fine. But here you swung. What are you talking about? A lot of conversation from Eddie Rosario today back towards, I don't know if that was to Grandal or to the home plate umpire. And maybe there's some chatter between Grandal and the other players. Remember, Sano hit a home run, came home and stamped the plate. Grandal hit one right away the next inning, came home, did the same thing. Now Sano hits one. Maybe there's more chatter back there than we realize. 2 outs now. Nelson Cruz to the plate. The 1-0 pitch is high, 2-0 the count. Cruz dropped down a little bit from hitting in the 5 spot to the 7 spot against the lefty. 2-0 pitch now on the way. That should have been a strike. Umpire misses it, 3-0, with Donaldson on deck. 3-0 pitch, and he missed. All of them were close. One of them was definitely in the zone. Keuchel does not get the benefit of any call. And now he's got to run around with 2 outs, and here comes Donaldson, who's just as dangerous as Sano, although he made most of his hay in the first half of the season. Josh Donaldson had 25 home runs before the end of June. He's up to 37 now, but at least production has dropped off a little. Stands in the right-handed batter's box with Cruz on first. This one's a cut fastball inside, fouled back, 0-1 the count. They have 37 home runs on the 6th of September and be second, trailing by 5 to a teammate. Must feel a little weird. That's how good this Twins team is at the plate. And they love hitting here in Target Field. Luckily, Keuchel has only given up 2 home runs, and they were both solo shots, and his team leads by 3. 0-2 count here to Donaldson. Just misses inside on a cut fastball, 1-2. Sox pitchers like to go inside to Donaldson a lot. We've noticed it all year long. And he will swing at the inside pitch. He'll get himself tied up. He'll also go high. I think one of the best pitches you can throw him is one high in the zone. He goes high, swing and a miss. Man, you can tell I've watched a lot of these games. That's exactly what Keuchel does. And Donaldson goes underneath it. A borderline pitch. He could have laid off it. He doesn't. Miguel Sano, I wish he'd lay off a pitch. He hits another home run. And after 4, 5-2 White Sox. And here comes Dick Mountain, otherwise known as Rich Hill. 39 appearances, 134 innings though. 11-7 record, 6.04 ERA. Opponents are hitting 280 against him. But the Twins, in about the 5th inning, like to go to these middle relievers in Hill or Bailey. They bring in a lefty in Hill against Tim Anderson, who's up for his 3rd at bat. He won the batting title in 2019. He led for a good portion of the season in the middle of the summer for the AL batting title, currently sitting in 5th place. The 1-0 pitch, checks it up, called the ball inside, 2-0. Sox have 2 home runs in this game, but the home run has not been the only way they've scored runs. Meanwhile, the Twins have 2 runs in this game, both solo home runs from Miguel Sano, as the count goes 3-0. Remember yesterday, Bailey came in. The Twins figured we'll just turn it over, and he couldn't find the zone, and the White Sox jumped all over him for a couple of runs. Hill just walked Anderson on an outside pitch on 4, and here comes Grandal. Now, Yasmani is not as dangerous from the right side. He's 1 for 1 with a home run already. He now leads this team with 33 of them. Runner on first is Anderson. And the pitch on the way. High, 4-seamer, 1-0. Hill has yet to find the zone. Grandal walked in the first inning when Anderson was on. Anderson was not on the next time he was up because Grandal was leading off. And he led off with a home run. An outside pitch misses on a slider, 2-0. 6 pitches from Hill, all of them missing the zone. And if you're a Sox hitter right now, you just stand there. Unless he makes a big mistake. You're looking for something that is clearly coming right down the middle you can feast on. Otherwise, you're holding back. That one looked like it was coming down the middle. It was high, though. It curved inside. Grandal pops it up to right field. And he's got to feel silly there. Guy hadn't thrown a strike, and you fly out with a 2-0 count. Here's Moncada. All the switch hitters are getting flipped over to right-handers. Yo-Yo is one of them. Runner on first and Anderson now with 1 out in the top of the 5th. And a low inside 12-6 curveball misses, 1-0 the count. Hill falling behind to every batter he's faced so far. Anderson takes off. That pitch is a strike low. Anderson is safe into second base on a bobble by Arias, taking the throw from Garver. Would have been 50-50 chance he gets the tag on. TA has stolen 2 bags in this game. He's the 3rd most stolen bases in the American League. Luis Roberts still holds the lead in that category. 1-1 pitch to Moncada now, swing and a miss at a 12-6 on the outside corner. 1-2. He's 0 for 2 in this game. He's already struck out once. Anderson with a lead. That pitch is low. And now Moncada awaits the next offering. Inside. Full count. Jimenez stands on deck. I think I wrongly said that at one point he was 2-2, he was 1-2. The ticker didn't move at the same speed it normally moves at. Now 3-2 count, and he walked him. So now Grandal has to be sitting there saying, man, I was 2-0. I created the first out of the inning. This guy can't find the zone. The only way Rich Hill is getting out of this inning is if he finds the zone or the White Sox get themselves out. Eloy Jimenez is 0 for 1 with a sac fly RBI in this game. He's yet to get good wood on a ball. Runners on first and second. The pitch on the outside corner called a strike, 0-1, and the cheer comes up from the home crowd. First strike that Hill has been able to get. And this is the fourth batter he's facing. 2 on, 1 out. The next offering. Now he gets a strike on the inside corner. Jimenez took them both. They were close pitches, but he took them, and Hill gets the call. So now 0-2. Jimenez has to tighten up his zone. Outside pitch, and he went for it. Yeah, I get the idea you're trying to protect, but that ball was 1.5 foot outside. Eloy reaches for it. Nobody could have reached that. I don't care how long your bat is. Jimenez goes down on 3 pitches, and Rich Hill is escaping, hopefully, in his mind, from this inning. Meanwhile, Abreu is trying to say not so fast. 0 for 2 with a strikeout to pop out. An outside curveball misses. 1-0. The Sox looking to find a way to get another run in. They lead 5-2. 2 outs here in the top of the 5th inning. Low pitch misses. 2-0. You're up a game and a half on these Twins. Trying to get more distance between you and them, but you're also trying to get distance on the Indians, because that's the magic number right there. The further away you get from the Indians, the more of a chance of at least making the postseason for the first time since 2008. 12 years. 2-1 now to Abreu on a swing and a miss. Now he fouls off a 4-seamer in the zone inside, 2-2. 20 pitches for Hill here in relief in this inning. Runners on first and second, the pitch. Swing and a miss, and Abreu goes down, so Rich Hill couldn't find the zone at first, but he strikes out the last 2. Swinging at junk. Midway through the 5th. 5-2 White Sox here in Minnesota. Here's Marwin Gonzalez. 0 for 1. Grounded out earlier in this game. This is his second at bat against Keuchel. First pitch here in the bottom of the 5th inning, called a ball. Dallas needed 62 pitches to get to this inning through the first 4. That was 63. Number 64 is also a ball, a 2-seamer low, 2-0 the count. Keuchel was extremely sharp in the first inning. That one's down the line, curving foul, thankfully, down the first base line, 2-1. Miguel Sano gave him some shell shock, is what I would call it. Then he got back into a groove in the 3rd, and then Sano shell shocked him again. 2-2 pitch on the way. This one's fouled off. Count remains even at 2. It's Gonzalez and then the top of the order for the Twins. Inside pitch sent down the first baseline, foul. Byron Buxton stands on deck. He has struck out twice on a total of 6 pitches. But he's seen Keuchel twice now. As another one is fouled off. Count remains even at 2. Pitch number 70 coming up for Dallas. The 2-seamer fouled off again. Keeps trying to work him low and in. Marwin keeps fighting it off. Let's see where he goes now. Grandal on the outside portion of the plate. Sets up there. Ball goes into the glove. He holds it, but the umpire says it's a ball. And the count is full at 3-2. Full count. Bottom of the 5th. Nobody out, nobody on. Leadoff man for this inning, Gonzalez, awaits the pitch. Inside, swung on and missed. He did him a favor. Keuchel fooled him. He thought it was going to be in the zone. He'd already started his swing. Couldn't pull back. 7th strikeout for Dallas. Sits down the first guy going inside and not in the zone. Puts it in on the hands and gets him to go around. 1 gone here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And here comes Byron Buxton, 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. And he tries to lay down a bunt. Keuchel goes right over the top of the bat and he misses it. 0-1 the count. He tried to bunt on the first pitch last time up, so he must not feel very comfortable with Dallas Keuchel. He's just trying to find a way on. You got to take advantage of that. You know he doesn't have confidence here. Next pitch, he goes inside, doesn't get the call. 1-1 the count. Keuchel working quickly back into the line. Goes outside and misses on a two-seamer, 2-1. They're tied up in Milwaukee, the Dodgers and the Brewers. We have the Dodgers next. They're out in the Midwest right now, just a little bit south of us. Both teams have a day off tomorrow and then a 3-game set between the White Sox and the Dodgers. Four-seamer fouled off down the third base line. His count is even at 2. St. Louis leads 2-0 over Arizona. It sounds like they will be the field of dreams opponent for the White Sox in the shortened season out in the cornfields of Iowa. I wanted the Reds for the historical significance because that movie was based around the idea of the 1919 White Sox, at least in part. That's who they played. Major League Baseball, though, not really run by a guy who cares about the game in Rob Manfred. I don't think there's a lot of guys that care about the history of the game running Major League Baseball right now. So why would they even remember that? 3-2 pitch on the way. Ground ball down the first base line going foul. And I think the Reds and the White Sox are both going to be young upstart teams. And that will be a fun game, and it's going to be a fun series when we play them. Inside pitch foul back, 3-2. Wish we were playing them all the same amount of games in the National League Central. We're going to play more games against the Cubs than anybody else. That makes no sense as well. Buxton goes down swinging. Keuchel struck him out 3 times. He has 8 in total. And there's 2 gone here with nobody on in the bottom of the 5th. Here comes Polanco, the 2-hitter. Likes hitting more from the left side, has to hit from the right against Keuchel. He's 0 for 2 in this game. 83rd pitch for Keuchel's a strike on the inside corner on a cut fastball, 0-1. Buxton took a lot of pitches there, wearing into Keuchel. And as Ricky Renteria did yesterday, it's quite possible he'll go to the pen a little earlier. As he said, these games mean a lot against Minnesota. Low and away, a changeup, 1-1. I don't think in any way Dallas Keuchel faces Miguel Sano. He's the 4-hitter on this team. Into the wind and the pitch. This one's fouled back, 1-2 the count. 23 pitches so far in this inning for Keuchel. Only 7 outside the zone. And he hits him on the hip. And he's going to put a man on. And you want to know why that's dangerous. That's dangerous because Arias comes to the plate and Sano moves out onto the on-deck circle. And you had 2 outs and nobody on before you hit a guy that you had 2 strikes on the hip. So it gets away from Dallas. So now Arias comes to the plate 0 for 2, the lefty against Keuchel. Has a runaround with good speed, and the first pitch lifted into shallow left field. Coming on is Jimenez. He makes a great play on the run and ends the inning. And we're through 5. That's big because Sano didn't get up. Sox lead 5-2. Edwin Encarnacion comes to the plate here. Rich Hill remains on the mound. 21 pitches last inning in relief. This is his 2nd inning that he will pitch. Edwin's 1 for 2. Has hit well in this series. He'll lead off the top of the 6th inning and swing and miss at a 12-6 curveball. Tyler Duffy and Tyler Clipper, the 2 Tylers, warming up for the Twins. Both of them are righties. Hill's a lefty, so they would flip the switch hitters back around if one of them came in. The 0-1 pitch on the way to Edwin. Fouled back, a 4-seamer, low and in, 0-2. The Sox have Dylan Cease and Jimmy Cordero warming up in the bullpen. One of them, I would imagine, is coming in to pitch to Sano. Swing and a miss by Encarnacion. He's down on strikes. 3rd strikeout for Hill. Edwin leads the team with strikeouts by far. And up comes Nomar Mazara. Now, Nomar hit a towering home run. Then I'm not kidding. It went over that 3rd deck out in right center field. Now, the 3rd deck out there is curved. So I'm not saying I thought it was at the highest point. When I got another look at it, It's maybe one of the lower points of that third deck, but he still cleared it. I mean, that's the equivalent of a rooftop shot in Old Comiskey. He hit one today. He's got the 2-run home run. He's also hit a double. He's 2 for 2 in this game. He's been all over Twins pitching, but he doesn't do so well against lefties. He's 0-1 here. Swing and a miss at a slider away, 0-2. Renteria electing to let his starter in right field at least face this lefty, possibly because he doesn't believe that Hill's going to pitch the rest of the game. And Mazara is red hot today. 0-2 pitch on the way now after that's fouled off in the dirt, 1-2. It's not that he never gets a hit against a lefty, but it's a big split. He has yet to get an RBI or a home run against a left-handed pitcher, although he has some hits. But he's hitting in the 100s against lefties this year. Inside pitch misses, 2-2. It's like having a pitcher in the National League up there right now when he has a lefty. And Rich Hill can bring it. He's a big, tall lefty. 2-2 pitch on the way. Swung on and lifted down the right field line. That will hook foul. Well hit ball. Just not straight enough. He was out in front of it. Count remains even at 2. Next offering also fouled off, a 4-seamer high and away, so Mazara fighting as Hill brings that ball a little bit behind his back in the delivery. It's at a weird angle. Now a hit up the middle, and it gets down in front of Buxton. Mazara's 3 for 3, and one of them was against a left-handed pitcher, which is such a rarity. He now has a single, a double, and a home run, and is a triple away from the cycle. He's 3 for 3, and he's the first man on with one out here on the top of the 6th for Danny Mendick. And a 12-6 curveball outside misses, 1-0. He's 0 for 2 in this game with a flyout and a groundout, hitting .282 on the season with a 764 OPS. He's done very well at second base, plays a pretty solid defense, and he's hitting so much better than Nick Madrigal, he's pretty much taken that job from him. 4-seamer swung on and missed, 1-1. Basically took it over a couple weeks ago. Madrigal's been more of a sub. Or more like Madrigal will go to second and Mendick will move someplace else when they need a sub. This one down the third base line. They're going to try to turn 2. 5, 4, and 3. They turn it. Miguel Sano starts it down to third base. And the 6th inning is halfway over. We go to the bottom of the 6th leading 5-2 here in Minnesota. Sox are going to bring in Dylan Cease. 36 games, many as a starter, then moved to the bullpen about a month ago, month and a half now. 9-7 record, 4.14 ERA. They'll have a righty pitch to Sano here, who's 2 for 2 with 2 solo home runs off of Keuchel. And Cease comes in and throws a fastball in the outside corner that misses, 1-0 the count. Bottom of the 6th inning, White Sox lead by 3. They've led all game by either 3 or 2 runs. Slider away misses, 2-0 as Cease and Grandal not giving him anything to hit right now. Cease into the wind. This one swung on and missed, a 4-seamer, 2-1. We saw yesterday, Grandal had Lucas Giolito hitting the outside corner a lot and making Sano reach for them. They struck him out several times, swing and a miss on a slider in the outside corner. Everything's been outside, coming from the righty, going across the plate. Sano's reached for 2. 2-2 count on the way, the pitch. High, he does not go for it, 3-2. There's probably only been one pitch in the zone through these 5 pitches. Now the count is full. Let's see what they do. Grandal sets up on the outside corner. They come inside, though. I think that Cease missed that one. A slider, and Miguel holds off. And you saw Grandal sit up on the outside corner. He wanted it out there. Cease threw a bad pitch. Got away from him. He's lucky it wasn't down the middle. He walks Sano. Leadoff man's on. Here comes Garver. Bullpen still working out there for the White Sox. Cordero continues to throw, along with Jace Fry. Runner on, doesn't have a lot of speed. Garver at the plate, 1 for 2. This pitch rifled over to short, gets by Anderson. Got through way too quickly in between him and Moncada. A base hit, Garver has 2 that he's put on the ground through the infield perfectly in this game. And there's 2 on and no out. Dylan Cease Not looking good immediately out of the pen for the White Sox. He's going to have to face at least one more guy. Eddie Rosario comes to the plate, 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Keuchel had given up 2 bombs to Miguel Sano and was near 90 pitches in this game. Sox had a 5-2 lead. They still have it. And the idea of having a righty go against Sano made a lot of sense. They almost had him. He just couldn't make the pitch. Strike now, 1-1 the count to Rosario, who's hit 126 home runs in his last 5 seasons. He's 0 for 2 in this game. He's been facing a lefty to this point. Now he gets a righty. 2 runners on. Not a lot of speed in Sano and Garver, but they're on. Inside 4-seamer misses, 2-1 the count. It could be a very, very quick appearance for Dylan Cease. He can't get an out here. The 2-1 pitch on the way. Up the middle, base hit. Coming around is Sano. Robber throws it in the third to hold Garver. Sox will concede the run. It's 5-3, and all Dylan Cease came in and did was give up a walk and 2 base hits. There's 2 on still. There's still no outs. And they're coming right back out here to get him now. Threw 11 pitches and couldn't do anything. Sox are going to the bullpen immediately. And Renteria wants Fry. He did a very good job yesterday in this situation. He faced some of these same guys coming up. 37 2/3 innings, 5-2 record, 3.58 ERA. Righties are hitting 185 against him. He's got Nelson Cruz, who has a history of not doing very well against lefties. And quickly, Cruz fouls this one off, 0-1. Runners on first and second, a run already in. Sox still lead by 2, 5-3. Dallas Keuchel started this game, did pretty well through the first 5 innings, but had given up 2 deep home run no-doubters to Miguel Sano. And with Sano leading off the 6th and Keuchel right about 90 pitches, Renteria went to Dylan Cease, and it did not work out. A walk and 2 hits, and that's why we are now a run closer to being tied with 2 on. 0-2 count. Cruz fouls off a pitch. Count remains 0-2 here. No outs in the bottom of the 6th inning. Twins fans on their feet, feeling it for the first time today. Really the first time they have threatened all game long. The 1-2 pitch on the way. Swung on and missed. He got him on the outside corner, and Fry sits down Cruz. Just like he did yesterday in a similar situation with 2 on. He inherited runners and went through this portion of the order. He gets Donaldson again. He got him yesterday in the same situation. 1 out, bottom of the 6th inning. 2 on still. The first pitch to Josh. Outside, cut fastball. Misses, 1-0 the count. Donaldson's hitting .333 with runners in scoring position. And he swings and misses at that curveball, 1-1. Stomps out of the batter's box. Wasn't happy at himself on that one. Now he's back in. Fry delivers. In the dirt, ball does not get away far enough for anybody to advance. 2-1 the count. He's going for the curveball there, and the bottom dropped out a little bit too much. Checks the runner and delivers. Swung on and missed a cut fastball. Now he's got him even at 2. Now he checks him again and delivers. High pitch. Donaldson holds off. The count is full with Marwin Gonzalez on deck. And then the top of the order. Fry to Grandal. This one deep. Way back near the post. If it's fair, it's gone. It is not. Donaldson tried to wave that one fair. It's just foul. Another pitch from Fry. This one a base hit in the right field. Mazara comes up throwing quickly. Everybody's only going 90 feet. It could have been a 3-run home run. Instead, it was a base hit and nobody scored on it. But Fry gives up the hit. Donaldson finds it, gets it through the hole between Abreu and Mendick. And the bases are loaded now with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning for Marwin Gonzalez. First pitch from Fry, inside cut fastball, just misses 1-0. Sox having their first real trouble of the game. A run already in. There's 1 out. And now an outside pitch misses again, 2-0. They're both very close pitches. Fry may feel like he's getting squeezed a little bit, and he may be. Book came out a few years back, maybe a decade old, decade and a half, called Scorecasting. Talked about in big situations how umpires can be influenced by the crowd. showing that sometimes they'll take a pitch right down the middle and call it a ball because they're caught up in the moment. This one down the first base line, foul, 2-1. It's human nature. Grandal's got to keep having him pour him in and look for the call. Now an outside four-seamer misses, 3-1. That definitely missed. So now you got the bases loaded, nowhere to put Gonzalez. Buxton on deck. 5-3 ball game here in Minnesota. And there's some real danger here. The pitch. Hits the outside corner and gets the strike called. Crowd didn't like it, but that was a strike. Good job by Fry. And good job by Grandal to go back to a pitch that had been called a ball twice and have him throw it again. Yasmani, the veteran catcher, is not giving in. Now one back up the middle, off the leg of the pitcher Fry and into the outfield. It bounces enough that 2 runs will come around and score. It's a 5-5 ball game. Jace Fry inherited 2 runners. Struck out Nelson Cruz. And then 2 very seeing-eye singles bouncing through the infield. Played a couple of runs. There's still 1 out and runners on first and second for Byron Buxton. Fry remains in. Throws a strike on the inside corner. 0-1. Cordero's ready. He can come in at any time now. Fry has faced 3. Cease only faced 3. He caused the inning. Fry has tried to get out of it, but couldn't. Now both guys on base are his. Cease's guys have all scored. 3 of them to tie up this game at 5. An outside pitch, cut fastball, misses. 2-1. The bullpen has been so steady. Not a good outing for the White Sox rookie coming out of the bullpen in Dylan Cease. Lost the starting job. And in a big moment, couldn't come through. Swing and a miss at a cut fastball, 2-2. And there's real discussions in Chicago if they make it to the postseason. Would you even carry him if he's not good out of the pen and he's not a starter? Cut fastball, foul back, 2-2 the count. Cordero could very easily remain on this team when they go back to 26 men for the postseason. Swung on and missed. Buxton goes down. He has struck out all 4 times, and that's why Fry remained in. He's a lefty. And Buxton has had a terrible time all day against Keuchel, so Renteria leaves him in. He's struck out 2 now with the 2 hits in between those. He's got 2 gone. He gets Polanco. They're not going to turn Polanco around and let him hit from the left side. He's more dangerous there. So Fry remains in and throws an inside cut fastball, 1-0. He's thrown 26 pitches. That's a lot for Jace Fry. But 21 of them in the strike zone. Maybe even a few more. Only 5 called balls. 1-0 the count. The pitch on the way. Low misses curveball, 2-0. Fry continues the work. The 2-0 pitch. Lifted softly. Back behind second base. Mendick's there. And he puts it away. So Dylan Cease comes on. Sees 3 batters. Puts on 3. Allows a run to score while he's on the mound. The other 2 come around on 2 seeing-eye singles. And after 6, each team has 7 hits and 5 runs here in Minnesota. And Tyler Duffy will come out to pitch this inning for the Twins. 64 2/3 innings, a 2.92 ERA, 61 strikeouts to 16 walks. Righties do better against him than lefties, and Luis Robert, a righty who's 1 for 2 with a single and a run batted in, will come to the plate. Top of the 7th inning, tie ball game. Slider away, swung on and missed, 0-1. The 0-1 pitch to Robert. Fouled off for Seamer. It was in the zone. 0-2, that one goes down the first base line. Quickly working is Duffy. Swing and a miss. He got Robert on 3 pitches. That last one was the first one out of the zone. He reached for it, low and away. 3 pitches, 1 out. Here on the top of the 7th. Tim Anderson comes to the plate. He's having a pretty good day. TA with a couple of hits, a couple of stolen bases. Actually, check that. He's got a single, a run scored, 2 stolen bases. He walked the other time he was up, 2 for 7 in this series. Takes a ball away, 1-0 the count. Grandal waits on deck. with a righty on the mound, he and Moncada coming up soon, get to move over to the left side. They were much more effective earlier in this game from that side. That pitch misses high, 2-0. 5-5 ball game after the Sox give up a 3 spot in the bottom of the 6th. Base hit easily over the head at first base, rolls out in the right field. A nice hit from Tim Anderson. Goes Oppo, goes with the pitch, flares it out into right. And he's on first base for the 3rd time today. And here's Grandal, 1 for 2 with a solo home run in the 3rd. First pitch right down the middle, a knuckle curve. That's a funny looking pitch. He's slugging .564. He has 33 home runs, leading the team. He's got a .289 average. He's 0-1 in the count, though. Anderson has stole 2 bases. I'm sure they're paying attention to him. That pitch low, they're going to say that Grandal went around, and he's got words. He doesn't think he did. He wanted an appeal. He doesn't get it. Quickly 0-2 in the count. Runner on first. The pitch. Outside misses. 1-2. Duffy working quickly. Maybe one of the ways that he's trying to keep Anderson from going anywhere. Swing and a miss on a knuckle curve, low. Grandal shakes his head and appreciates that pitch as a catcher. But there's 2 gone now for Yoan Moncada. Yo-Yo is 0 for 2 with a walk. Anderson goes on the first pitch, a strike down the middle. Anderson down and safe at second. 3 stolen bases in 3 attempts today and up to 39 on the season. Runner in scoring position. 0-1 the count to Yoan Moncada. Inside pitch, a slider, misses, 1-1. Sitting .341 with runners in scoring position, and the Sox just got one out there for him. Next pitch away, a knuckle curve, misses, 2-1 the count. 2-1 the count. The pitch on the way. High, misses, a 4-seamer, 3-1. Yesterday we saw Aaron Bummer. We saw a very tired closer in Steve Cishek. Bummer went deep. He pitched for more than 1 inning. That'll wear out a guy like him. That's ball 4 to Moncada. He'll take his base 2 on. Kopech went several innings. So whether or not those guys are first on the list to come in here is questionable. Sure, there's a day off tomorrow, but if the arm is sore, the arm is sore. Here's Jimenez, 0 for 2 with a sac fly. These guys are not stretched out to pitch every single game. But like Renteria said, it's all hands on deck. For now, though, Alex Colomé warms up, possibly to take the bottom of the 7th. And a low 4-seamer misses, 1-0 the count. First and second, Jimenez now lifts this one down the right field line. Fair ball! That ball's going to roll back into the .328 marker. It's going to bounce off the wall. Anderson comes around and scores. Moncada in the 3rd, Jimenez in the 2nd. An RBI double, and the White Sox retake the lead 6-5. And Jimenez is pumping his fist, pointing at his dugout, and this team is pumped up. Big hit, 2 of them here in this inning, over the first baseman and down the first base line. And now with 2 on and 2 out, here's Abreu, 0 for 3, struck out the last time up, 1 for 11 in the series, but a veteran and a leader on this team. And an opportunity for him to put a crooked number up to answer back to the Twins immediately. A base hit is definitely going to bring home Moncada, possibly Jimenez, depending on where it lands. They're at 3rd and 2nd respectively. First pitch swung on and missed a slider right below the bat, above the knees. Abreu stands in and the next pitch is outside, a knuckle curve. He has 4 hits in his life against Duffy, who comes out of the pen regularly for the Twins over the last few years. This one down the first base line, foul! Close, but now 1-2. The next offering, outside misses, and the count is even at 2. Fans here in Minnesota trying to root on their pitcher. Swing and a miss, and he got him. Knuckle curve. That knuckle curve is working. Some players could hit it, some could not. Jimenez got a hold of one. That's definitely what it was. Down the first base line, and we retake the lead heading to the bottom of the 7th. Alex Colomé is going to come in, or Colomé if you're nasty. He had 10 saves this season, but blew 6 of them, and that's how he lost his closer role. He's been effective, though, overall out of the bullpen, and he will take the beginning of this inning at least. He gets Arias, who's 3 for 9 lifetime against him. But he gets a strike across right away, 0-1 the count. Sano stands on deck. Well, you're going through the heart of the order right here. Inside pitch foul down the first base line, 0-2. Bottom of the 7th inning. Twins tied it up in the bottom of the 6th. Sox got a run in the top of the 7th to retake the lead at 6-5. Jimmy Cordero warms in the bullpen. Yet again, he's been up and down today. Feels like he's destined to come in, but more as an emergency. Inside pitch swung on and missed. He got him on a cut fastball. He went high and in, corner of the zone. And that's the first out. And here comes Miguel Sano. 2 home runs in this game. As he approaches the plate, everybody's up cheering. Possibly going to win the MVP. Put one in the upper deck in left field. One way out in right. Both off of Keuchel. Then he was walked at the beginning of last inning. He came around and scored. First pitch is a ball inside. Next one a cut fastball, low and in, a strike. So they're working him low and in right now on those first 2 pitches with cut fastballs. Now they go away with a cut fastball. He does not reach. 2-1. Sano has had a tendency to reach and strike himself out, but he's not doing it today. Grandal keeps trying to go to that well. Now he goes outside and fouls off one, 2-2. So Yasmani reads him as a guy who will go outside and swing at junk. They go outside there, but he gets a hold of it and fouls it off, 2-2. So inside, and then 3 on the outside corner. Count is even at 2. Now he goes low, and it's fouled straight back. Count still even. 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Nobody on. 1-run lead for the White Sox. And a 4-seamer hit deep down the third base line, but clearly foul. He went down to one knee to get that one. Another 2-2 pitch. Down the third base line, foul on the ground. A long at bat for Sano. 8 pitches so far. Pitch number 9 lifted out deep in the right center field. Tailing back is Mazara near the wall. He will catch it at the track. It was hard hit, but not hit hard enough. There are 2 gone, and Mitch Garver comes to the plate, 2 for 3, with 2 seeing eye singles on the ground through the infield. 1 on the right side, 1 on the left. There's 2 going here in the bottom of the 7th, and a strike on the inside corner from Colomé. 0-1 the count. The 0-1 pitch on the way. Outside, catches the corner, gets the call, 0-2, and that's the same area. Sox couldn't get a call there earlier in this game. Last inning, in fact, they couldn't get that call. That pitch was more outside than some of those that were called balls in that big inning last inning. Why? Not as much excitement, obviously. Now an outside pitch, he checks it up. Did he go? He did not, they say. 1-2 the count here to Garver with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. Colomé trying to go 1-2-3. Fouls off a cut fastball down the first base line. Count remains 1-2. Into the wind and the pitch. Fouls it back to the backstop. Another batter hanging in. Got to be patient. Find that area. Try to get him out. Don't walk him. Don't let him come back. That pitch is high. 2-2 on a cut fastball at eye level. Quickly working. Back outside. Swing and a miss, and a ball in the dirt is going to roll away. Grandal gets up, throws down the first, and gets him by 2 steps. Throwing down to Abreu on the drop third strike. A 1-2-3 inning for Alex Colomé. We're through 7, leading once again by 1. Tyler Clippard's coming in, 28 appearances, 31 2/3 innings, 6 holds, and a 1.14 ERA. We've seen both Tylers. Righties hit .061 against him, lefties .211. Here's a righty in Encarnacion who already is not very good against right-handed pitchers, and the shadow is creeping across home plate. Joining Cordero in the bullpen is Aaron Bummer. Although we might see Jimmy here in the 8th. And a low pitch misses a changeup, 1-0. Encarnacion has had a base hit against Clippard. He's 1 for 7 lifetime. He's also struck out 5 times. So in 7 at-bats, a hit, 5 strikeouts, and then some other out. He fouls back a split finger, 1-1 the count. He's 1 for 3 in this game, had a double, and came home on a Mazara blast. Fouls off a split finger low, and he's quickly 1-2. Sox mostly playing their division the rest of the way, but not the Twins, and only 3 more against the Indians. They get a lot of Kansas City. 36,932 in attendance today, just announced. As this one's fouled back, the count is even at 2. They get a lot of Detroit, they get a lot of Kansas City here down the stretch. They get some Oakland, little Dodgers sprinkled in as a ball is hit deep in the hole. Behind third base, Polanco gets it, a long jump throw, and he gets Encarnacion. A good runner is probably safe. Edwin is not one of those. Here's Nomar Mazara, he's 3 for 3, and a triple, shy of the cycle. 1 out here in the top of the 8th inning. Sox lead by a run. First pitch ripped into left field, that's a base hit. It'll only go for a single, but Nomar Mazara now is now 4 for 4 in this game. What a game for Nomar. He is just seeing the ball so well. And he stands out on first base. And the Sox like to bring in a defensive replacement sometimes for him. But the way he's hitting in a 1-run game, it might be like, I don't want to take his bat out. Ground ball down to third base. Mendick starting another double play, the second one he's hit into today. 5-4-3 on a nifty play by Miguel Sano. The big man can move. Catches it, spins, and throws. And the inning is over. The top of the 8th inning ended very quickly after the Mazara hit. Eddie Rosario now comes to the plate, 1 for 3 with a single, an RBI, and a run scored. Meanwhile, the White Sox have a new pitcher. And it's Aaron Bummer. 61 appearances, 60 in the third innings. ERA of 2.54, 83 strikeouts to 14 walks. Righties hitting 107 against him. Lefties hitting 253. Aaron's been working hard this week. With the day off tomorrow, the White Sox are pulling out all the stops to try to hold on to this game. Rosario's a lefty. He fouls off a four-seamer. Then the next 2 guys up, Cruz and Donaldson, not as effective versus lefties compared to righties. So this is the guys you want to see. This is exactly why they brought in Jace Fry when they did. Fry came in for Cruz because Cease had to see 3 guys. And they expected Dylan Cease to have a good inning. Instead, he blew up, couldn't get an out. And it was all part of that 3-run inning in the 6th. Now Bummer has Rosario 0-2 in the count. He fouls off a pitch, remains 0-2. Now he goes outside with a cut fastball. Rosario does not chase, 1-2. 1-2 pitch fouled off. I'm going to tell you right now, if Bummer gets into any kind of trouble, if you look at the rest of the order after the 6, 7, and 8 guys, you could go to Cordero for Gonzalez in the top of the order. Ground ball over to second. Flipped over to first. There's 1 gone here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And Nelson Cruz comes to the plate. He's 0 for 2 with a walk in the 4th inning as Bummer's gotten the first out here on 6 pitches. There's 1 gone here in the bottom of the 8th, and the White Sox clinging to a 6-5 lead. Meanwhile, out in Colorado, the Indians are tied at 3 in their afternoon game with the Rockies and look like they may be headed to extra innings. Meanwhile, Cruz over here just fouled off 2 pitches and is 0-2. He's also 0 for 2 in this game. The next offering, outside corner, just misses on a sinker. 1-2 the count. Everybody's pretty much up here in the 8th inning. This is as close as you can get to playoff baseball until you get to the playoffs. This series here in September. 1-2 pitch misses inside a slider, 2-2. Bummer has had his struggles this year. He's not automatic. He had been the first couple months. But everybody's human. The shadow during this afternoon game is now halfway between the mound and the plate. That can play tricks on the batters. Meanwhile, pitch misses high and the count is full to Cruz. Let's see what Bummer does here. Does he go after him or does he try to get him to reach? Pops it up, jam shot, center field. Robert waits underneath it, can of corn. He went inside on him in the zone and forced him to pop that one up. He got a good swing on it, but not very good wood. There's 2 gone here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Here comes Donaldson, 1 for 2, with 2 outs already. And that's what you wanted. You're going through the meat of an order. You're also going through a part of the order that doesn't fare well against lefties. That's why a guy like Cruz, who batted 5th yesterday, is batting 7th. And a guy like Donaldson, who batted 6th yesterday, is batting 8th. They got moved down for a reason. And the White Sox have taken advantage of that. Even after Keuchel left, they've gone to Fry during this portion of the lineup. And now this time through, they go to Bummer. 1-2 the count quickly to Donaldson after he fouls off 2. And now fouls off another one. Bummer's working very quick, peppering him inside out. Now he goes high with a cut fastball, and Donaldson gets it. And you know what? That's the MO. We talked about it earlier. Donaldson tries to climb that ladder and can't get up. This time, he was looking for it. Now he goes low, and another sinker is fouled off. Count remains 1-2. 18 pitches here for Bummer. Stares in and delivers. Inside pitch misses a cut fastball, 2-2. On deck is Gonzalez, who's a little bit better against lefties than he is against rights. Meanwhile, after him is Buxton. And Buxton is 0 for 4 against left-handed pitching today with 4 strikeouts. That pitch misses low and away, 3-2 the count. Bummer, though, the arm has got to be sore. Indications coming into the game was he was iffy if he was going to come out here, so he can't go very deep in an inning. Full count pitch, fouled back into Grandal's chest, 3-2, and he's already up to 21 pitches, which is a long inning for a pitcher. 3-2 pitch on the way, fouls off a sinker. A lot of foul balls the last few innings for the Twins. They're battling up there. Sox pitchers trying not to let up. Another sinker fouled off. A very, very long at bat now for Josh Donaldson. Into the double digits. Count is still full. Payoff pitch again. Another foul ball. 3-2 count remains out there. Will Bummer win the battle? He fouls off another one. An incredible at bat right now. Mano Imano, one of the best relievers, one of the best hitters in the game. Swung on and missed. He got him on a cut fastball low and in. Aaron Bummer comes off the mound screaming into his dugout. And the White Sox lead after 8, 6-5 here in Minnesota, going for the sweep. Sergio Romo, we saw him yesterday. He's a good pitcher. He's done very well against the White Sox all year. 3-0, 2.55 ERA over 35 and a third innings. We've seen him a lot, even though he's only had 35 and a third innings. Luis Robert's going to lead off the 9th inning, then the top of the order. In the bullpen, I keep saying his name, Cordero continues to throw, although he's now kind of long tossing to kind of keep the arm warm. I feel like he's like the emergency if one of the regular guys can't do it. You know? Like one of those things where it's like, we want to bring in our other guys, but they're exhausted, so if they get into trouble, Jimmy, you're coming in with your very, very fast pitch, and you're gonna throw. Roberts 1 for 3. Here in the top of the 9th inning, the Sox lead 6-5. And an outside slider misses 1-0 the count. So Cishek warms with him. Warms with Cordero. Steve has been in pretty much every game this week. 1-0 pitch, swung on and missed the slider away, 1-1. You know, you want to put everything you can into this game. You also don't want to hurt your closer. I'm sure that's what's going through the mind of Ricky Renteria right now. He's been used a lot this week. He's already blown a save at one point this week, but overall he's been very consistent. The most consistent pitcher coming out of the pen all season long. Swing and a miss, 1-2 now. Romo takes his time, now delivers. Rifled over to the left side, underneath the glove of Polanco, who couldn't get it. Just gets under his glove as he's running back behind third base. And Roberts got a leadoff hit. You got good speed on board in the top of the order coming up. Everybody in this stadium knows the guy who's leading the majors in stolen bases is probably going to go at some point. There's no outs here in the top of the 9th inning. Anderson stands up there, 2 for 3, 2 base hits, 2 runs scored, 3 stolen bases. Takes a strike, 0-1 the count. Roberts got to wait. pick his poison. Garver has not done very well against the White Sox all year long. Sox have made a lot of hay on the base paths against him. But he hits well, and the Twins put him back there. The 0-1 pitch on the way. Lifted high into center field. It's going to be a can of corn for Buxton, and there's one gone. Robert only had 2 pitches to try to figure out if he could go there before the first out of the inning. Grandal now comes to the plate with 1 out in the top of the 9th. Luis with a good lead. Looks in. Romo checks him. Pitch down the middle, foul back. 0-1 the count. Romo checks Robert again. And he's off. That pitch low. Garver down to second. Robert is in and popped up before the ball even got there. What a jump. He was standing by the time the ball hit the glove of Polanco on a pop-up slide. 1-1 the count now to Grandal, who's 1 for 3 with that home run and a runner on second base that can score on any hit anywhere. And a swing and a miss at a changeup low, 1-2. On deck is Moncada. You're going to get an insurance run. These are the guys you want up, and that's the base runner you want on second base. Outside pitch misses, 2-2, the count is even. Big series here for the White Sox. Took Friday's game, took yesterday's game, trying to take this one. Ground ball back to the pitcher. Falling off the mound, he makes the play. Forces Robert to go back to second base, and then gets Grandal at first. There's 2 gone, and here comes Yo-Yo Moncada, 0 for 2 with 2 walks. He's 4 for 11 in this series with a home run. The first pitch on the inside corner, an 86-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball, taken for a strike, 0-1. He's hitting .341 with runners in scoring position. Last time he had a runner at second base, he walked. Sox would like to see him get the bat on the ball. On deck is Jimenez. Swings and misses at a changeup low below the knees, 0-2. He's already got a strikeout in this game. Has not looked very sharp at the plate today. The eye is there, but maybe not the timing. Fouls off a changeup on the outside corner. He's also been an Iron Man the last couple of weeks for this team, not taking any days off. The 0-2 pitch. Inside misses on a slider. 1-2 the count. Still tied up in Colorado, but in the 9th inning, the Indians scored 2 and then the Rockies scored 2. They're knotted up at 5 instead of knotted up at 3. Go purple. 2-2 the count. The pitch on the way. Swung on and missed, and Moncada goes down swinging. So the Sox get a leadoff man in Robert. He gets second base on a stolen base, and he dies out there. 11 hits for the Sox and only 6 runs. 5 runs on 7 for Minnesota. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Gonzalez, Buxton, and Polanco up. Steve Cishek comes into the game to try to get another save. He's got 24 on the season and 27 attempts. A 5-2 record. 64 innings and a 1.55 ERA. His whip is below 1. 81 strikeouts to 20 walks. Opponents hitting below the Mendoza line against him. He's a right-hander. He's a sidearmer. He's been the best guy out of the pen all year for the Sox. And in a big moment, he's called on here with not a lot of rest over the last week. And the first pitch to Marwin Gonzalez, who moves over to the left-handed batter's box, is a ball in the outside corner, low and away. Gonzalez is 1 for 3 against left-handed pitching today. He's 1-0 in the count here in the bottom of the 9th. Everybody's up. It's a big moment for both teams. The Twins either come back and win this game, and they are separated by a half game, sitting in second place behind the White Sox, or the Sox leave Minnesota after coming in a half game back, 2.5 games up, with only 3 weeks left to play in the season. And this is the last time these two teams will face each other unless they meet each other in the postseason, which is always possible the way they're both playing. 1-2 the count. The pitch on the way. Low and inside, misses on a sinker, 2-2. Now a 2-2 pitch. He got him. Looking on a slider on the outside corner. Gonzalez can't believe he didn't go for that one. He threw the slider, but he threw it up. And he threw it on the outside corner. And I think Marwin thought that pitch had gotten away from him and was going to curve away from the plate. Instead, it stayed straight with a lot of movement and went right across the outer portion of the plate for a clear strike 3. There's 1 gone here in the bottom of the 9th, and Buxton comes up 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts, all against left-handed pitching. And a slider on the outside corner called a strike, 0-1. Keuchel got him 3 times, Fry got him once. Cishek delivers. Low and away, a sinker, misses, 1-1 the count. An outside slider misses 2-1. I want to thank everybody for listening to this game in the White Sox simulated season. I think we all realize this is maybe the most exciting, most important one so far. I'm standing here next to the bar. I can't sit down. 2-1 the count, the pitch on the way. Low slider, misses 3-1. Polanco stands on deck. He will get to hit lefty against a righty for the first time all day, and he is much deadlier on that side. Meanwhile, Buxton's got lots of speed. You don't want to let him on. He could easily be at second base before Polanco's at bat is over. 3-1 pitch. Swung on and fouled back. An inside slider at 79 miles an hour at the knees. In the zone. Count is full. Big payoff pitch here with one out, nobody on in the bottom of the ninth. Swung on and missed. He got him. 5 strikeouts for Buxton today. The big sombrero. Cishek goes low, and Buxton doesn't swing low enough. That's a beautiful pitch. Right down the middle. 4-inch pitch break at 90 miles an hour, and he couldn't get it. Polanco comes up with 2 outs here in the bottom of the ninth inning. We're not out of the woods yet. He's 0 for 3, but we've seen him. We've seen him tie a game against us and win a game against us with a home run. He has killed the White Sox in late innings. But that was months ago. Lately, we've had their number. First pitch fouled off down the third base line. Next one, low and away, a sinker, misses 1-1. 13 pitches so far for Cishek. He's got 2 outs already. He has struck out the first 2 he's seen. This one's fouled back, a slider, now 1-2. Steve Cishek going for the sweep here for the White Sox to put them 2.5 up in first place in the AL Central on the 6th of September. Foul ball down the third base line, rolling to the ball boy down there. We'll reset at 1-2. The next offering. A sinker fouled off down the third base line into the crowd. Polanco not going down easily. On deck, Luis Arias. Foul ball sinker off the inside leg of Grandal. He shakes it off immediately. He's not going to slow down his pitcher. He grimaces and gets back behind the plate. 1-2 the count, the pitch. Swung on and missed, and the White Sox sweep the Twins. An outside sinker, swung on and missed, and the White Sox have swept the Minnesota Twins on the first weekend in September. They enter the series a half game out of first place and leave Minnesota for the last time in the regular season this year, up 2.5 games, alone in first place in the American League Central. Steve Cishek strikes out the side in the ninth, and the Sox are riding higher than they have all year long. Folks, thanks for listening to this one. Absolutely incredible weekend. We've had so much fun being able to bring you this series. With baseball coming back, the ability to fast forward the simulation, and then picking this series as this is what we were going to feature on 4th of July weekend. A big series, the last one against the Twins in Minnesota, and I didn't know how it was going to go. But I had said ahead of time, I talked to Joe Binder over at Sox on 35th, this is the series we're going to do that weekend in the middle of the fast forward. And then we're going to move forward and head towards the playoffs, or at least the end of the season one way or another. And now I think it's going to be playoffs. I think that's what the fast forward is going to show us. We'll see how it all ends up. You'll find out this week on Sox in the Basement. Let's get through this game before I tell you what else is coming up this week. Nomar Mazara is your player of the game. 4 for 4. Home run. Double. 2 singles. Jace Fry is going to get the win. An inning pitched, gave up 2 hits, struck out 2. He was the pitcher of record. He's the reason we weren't losing, because Dylan Cease came in and just was awful. Couldn't get an out. Run was already in. 2 on, Fry comes in. And yes, 2 of those runs score. But he didn't let any of his own runs come across. The game's tied at 5. You go to the top of the 7th inning and you get a run right away on a big hit from Eloy Jimenez. And then you hold on behind Bummer and Cishek. He gets to save Steve Cishek. An inning pitched, he struck out all 3 that he faced. Tim Anderson goes 2 for 4, 2 runs scored. Yasmani Grandal 1 for 4 with a big home run. An RBI and a run scored. Eloy Jimenez 1 for 3 with a huge double. The game-winning RBI on that double. He had 2 RBI on the day because he had a sac fly earlier. Sox sweep the Twins. They're 2.5 up in the American League Central with about 3 weeks left to go. This is the last time we'll see them. They only beat us 6 times all year. Sox have owned them. They've actually owned the American League Central. It's the big reason why they're doing so well. We've got some Detroit games, Kansas City games, 3 against Cleveland. We're in a good position right now to at least make the postseason. We'll see how this all shakes out. Here's the deal. During this week, pay attention to Sox in the Basement. At some point, we're doing the fast forward. I'm thinking about doing it before I sit down with Dave, my buddy at the 9-Foot Homemade Oak Bar, and our special guest this Wednesday, Scott Merkin, MLB beat reporter covering the Chicago White Sox for MLB.com. Scott's going to come in. He's going to talk about what's going on here at the beginning of spring training, the second spring training for the White Sox, summer training, as we get ready for baseball to start in real life in just a few weeks. We're also going to fast forward, get you through the end of the regular season. And then this coming weekend, Sox in the Basement will present playoff baseball for our 2020 simulated season. And we will conclude this, depending on how it goes. If it goes badly, it'll be over this next weekend. If it goes well, you will get everything next week and a successful conclusion 2 weeks from today. It will all end so that we have plenty of time to be completely and totally focused on the White Sox coming back. That's the plan. That's the schedule. And man, it's going to be a fun ride. Thank you so much for listening. Remember post-game analysis with Sox on 35th. Check that out today. Stay with Sox in the Basement. Make sure you're subscribed. Tell your friends about it. This is going to be fun. We will see you on Wednesday. Dave, me, Scott Merkin, Sox in the Basement. Found everywhere podcasts can be found and always at soxinthebasement.com. Bye-bye, everybody.
Sox in the Basement. Sox in the Basement. Sox in the Basement.
Sox in the Basement. Heard everywhere podcasts can be found and always on soxinthebasement.com.